Ever since man has become an intelligent being, let us say, who could analyze his situation, himself, they will say, why I am not happy? What is the things that I can do to be happy? This type of analytical capability is available only in the human being. Between all living systems, the common thing is ahara means food, nidra is sleep, bhaya is fear, maithuna is sex. These four are common to human beings as well as animals, all living systems. But all living systems doesn't have the capability to analyze their instinctual drives and demands.
We have an innate bias towards negativity. We go back and forth like a pendulum between past and our future. We look at past with regret and we look at future with anxiety and pessimism.
As long as we don't realize it, we feel we are this body, we are this mind, these thoughts, all these things which are limiting us.
This innate negativity bias won't allow us to be in the present moment. Focusing on the negativity is what prevents us to evolve. If you go a bit deeper, there is nothing like past and future. These are all mental constructs. Our becoming and being is only in the present moment and nowhere else. Breath is what helps us to bring in the present moment, here and now and here.
Your whole life depends on this breath. You stop breathing, you die. So you are able to control your body, your thoughts, all your mental actions by controlling your breath. That's the basic step through which you start your spiritual progress.
Most of the times we are on autopilot. That means we're using our habitual mind. No right or wrong, that's why we're so efficient. We're all coming from this lower center of the brain. And this lower center works the same way in all the animals too. All those automatic functions that happen inside our body, our breathing, our digestion, our heartbeat, our blood pressure regulation, maintaining temperature, blood sugar levels, all of that is controlled by this lower center. All the habits that we have, or what we call it as hardwired into our brains, not all of them are good for us. Yes, they're efficient because it takes up less energy.
There is a never-ending quest of increasing the efficiency of the system to get objects that which brings him total satisfaction. But it is only limited by time. Every year, people stand in queue for hours together to get the latest iPhone. And how long that iPhone's fancy lasts? 1 week? Afterwards, everybody has that same iPhone. There is no charm in having it, but on that day you had very great difficulty to get it first. But over time it fades. So the very idea of satisfaction produces dissatisfaction along with it.
We really don't know what we want in life. And we're just focusing on the superficial things. Focus on our lifestyle, we focus on our color of hair, or we try to change the color of eyes to be able to change our lives.
All of us have addictions. Some may be preferable, some may not be preferable. You know, everybody says, what a beautiful library you have. I wonder, because it is an addiction. I went on reading. Reading is also an addiction, but it's admired by society. Therefore, seems to be great. It is addiction as far as I am concerned. Nowadays, whenever I go wherever there are bookshops, I give my purse to my friend and then I enter, because I know my purse will become empty if I go in. What else is the characteristic of an addict? So, addiction can cheat us in many ways without our knowledge. All these things bind me because I think I am bound by it. It's my thinking basically here. So this has made the search for happiness outside is an exercise in futility.
I was raised in an Orthodox Christian environment, and all the knowledge, spiritual knowledge that I got was very dogmatic. We were taught a lot of body shame. We were not even supposed to touch. I had to struggle for many years during my teenager years and even later on. And then I got to be really scared and ashamed and shy because that was being controlled, very much controlled.
以前的我啊，我觉得以前的我比较自闭，比较不喜欢跟人接触，然后比较不喜欢接触人群，可能是因为觉得跟人接触会觉得很多的压力，工作上啦，或者是觉得说人跟人之间就觉得好像会比较，就觉得说不喜欢，比较封闭，不想要跟人家接触，然后就觉得说很希望逃避人群。工作做完就想赶快回家，然后就觉得比较想要待在比较安全的地方，然后不想要尝试新的事情，然后心可能也比较封闭吧。
When I was in Australia, I worked in community work, social work with disabilities and domestic violence and abuse, and it was a bit too much. I always have been a very sensitive person, and it was very, very hard for me to deal with this situation without getting involved in it because it was very, very traumatic. I was going through some kind of a personal crisis at the time as well. I was looking for something, I don't know what it was. There was something not right within, something felt incomplete, and there was no reason to be sad or not happy, but something didn't feel right.
I know I've always been worried about anything and everything, which is pretty much like everyone, you know, in the modern society. We're all worried about plenty of stuff. And I was constantly scared of the future, what would happen.
Often I think back to my childhood self as a very dark and depressing time. I think my childhood self so desperately wanted to be liked and so desperately wanted to be accepted by other people, but often I was a black sheep because I was different, daily bullied, so I felt quite depressed as a child and quite alone.
All of us are trying to understand ourselves through various experiences in life. Understanding ourselves is the actual unfoldment of the divinity which is there within us, the perfection which is there within us, that consciousness which is there within us. It is trying to come out of all these things that have been added on to it. It wants to come out in its own natural self.
Why can't we access whatever that is already within us? It says that it's the ignorance that covers up. Because of the ignorance, we cannot see, we cannot feel. What is that ignorance in very simple terms? It's nothing but that automatic negativity bias that we have towards life. That's an innate nature of our mind which has evolutionary significance. But that is what is preventing us to evolve.
We are all so attached to the objective world. Even if I ask who are you, you will always give the reference in terms of the object to which you are associated. I am an American, so you associate with a particular geographic condition. I belong to this city. These are my friends. Then I am asking, who are you? You are giving me all the explanation how you are in relation to other things, but not yourself. So you haven't known yourself, you know only by standing in the society, in public, what you are, what they made you, what you are. So this is an imagined character get away from the object so that you will know yourself first.
As long as we don't realize it, we feel we are this body, we are this mind, these thoughts, all these things which are limiting us. We feel, yes, I'm learned, I'm educated, I've done this degree, that degree, which ultimately means nothing. It just makes you richer by a few more pounds or a few more dollars. But what is adding to your life? Is your life worth living? That's the question.
To evolve, we need to go beyond that instinct level. And our cerebral system is designed for that. The part of the brain, what I call as higher center, is what truly makes us human. And if we need to be evolving, we need to be using the part of the brain that makes us human more and more and more. So anything that we need to change that we don't want, any habits, there is no efficiency there to begin with. We have to put in effort.
All the change that is possible is within yourself. Your perception, your outlook about life, your conception about life itself must change. Then all that you see changes.
Yes, certain things are hardwired in us right from childhood. However, it is possible to rewire our brains because of the recent advances in neuroscience research. Now we know if it is possible to change our minds in a highly structured, organized, willful, conscious ways, then we can change the very structure of the brain.
In the 1970s, United States was traumatized because all those who had participated in the Vietnam War had come back. They were all 18, 20, 25. They were devastated by the type of war that they participated. Therefore, they were so traumatized, they dropped off from society. They left off all moral and ethical conditions of the society because life is short, let us enjoy it to the full extent. It shook the American society. And one thing which clinched the issue was transcendental meditation was proven by experimentation. This technique was made language free, gender free, age free, culture free, religion free. Anybody can practice this technique. So this made it universal. So everywhere scientists could test it. Research was published in Life magazine and it took the academic world by storm. Until then, all yogic meditation was termed by psychology as imagination, hallucination. So this thing whole turned the trend of it.
So this whole process is called neuroplasticity. If you change your mind, the very structure of the brain can change. This changing is what we call as restructuring, remolding of the brain. Change in our actions, change in our habits, changes in our behavior, and changes in our experience.
You're actually not moving from something lower to a higher. You're just trying to remove off all these misconceptions about yourself. There is no movement as such, it is just an unfolding.
So, how am I to make myself to create an unprejudiced mind? And how am I to get out of my addictions? You have to reduce all your states of anxiety and distraction. My Guru Maharishi Mahesh Yogi used to say, by practicing yoga, by practicing meditation, you get 200% of life. What does it mean? 100% enjoyment of the objective world, 100% in the subjective world without distraction. Both are possible.
Ultimately, for us to evolve, we need to become neurosculptors. Look at this. Yoga is a beautiful way. Of course, it sculpts out our bodies and our minds.
It come from where? No one knows. It's very ancient tradition. I appreciate it that so many schools are there and everyone are willing to teach and sharing their knowledge. It is not teaching, it is sharing the knowledge. It is not, we cannot authenticate any yoga is ours. The first thing the teachers say, make your spine straight. So when you, as soon as you sit straight, you feel active. You will be refreshed immediately.
As much as physical flexibility, we are looking at cognitive flexibility.
The ultimate goal of yoga is to realize one's own self, realize the consciousness within. That is the purpose of yoga. Yoga is one of the paths through which you manifest your consciousness.
I actually started practicing yoga because I had breathing problem. Every night my father and mother used to put me on their laps and they would make me sleep first, then they would sleep because I was not able to breathe properly. So after starting yoga, my breathing problem has come down. I've got rid of breathing problem. Yoga has not given me only health, it has taught me how much capacity I have. It has increased my concentration level. I am very good at studies now. My body has become very flexible compared to before. I've participated in many state, national and international level yoga competitions. I went to China where I had my international yoga competition and I won a bronze medal there. Then in 2016, I got 2 golds and 2 silver medals. In 2017, we had 7th Asian Yoga Championship which was held in Singapore. So there I got 4 golds and 1 silver medal. And not only this, I've recently created a world record for more number of back plank recline crunches. So I'm very happy for it.
My background is in psychology, and there are no other tools that I have found that have given me the level of peace that I gained from learning more about meditation and breathing practices. So when the ego pops up, when the desires and the emotions pop up, you can observe them with detachment rather than reacting right away to the desire. Yoga has the power to decrease any sort of addiction with time, daily practice, and especially the long term.
然后慢慢的透过体位法的练习，你就会开始观察到自己的情绪，然后就觉得其实跟人接触还蛮好的。然后慢慢心也变得比较开放，对啊，所以我觉得从体位法慢慢进入瑜伽是一个很好的过程，因为从体位法练习，你会觉得说你是在脚踏实地，你不是在做一个空想。那在这练习当中，你会觉得说，你有感受到自己，然后可以说出自己真正的情绪。
Changed everything. It changed the way I looked at myself physically. It changed the way I thought. It got a kind of a certain grounding for me, and every time there was chaos outside, I would just come back to the breath.
Breath helps us to be in the present moment, not in the past, not in the future. That is the most important aspect. So each time when we bring the focus onto the breath, then we are both body and mind together in the same place.
In yoga, we call air or the breath prana, which means life force. And essentially, this will help to extend our life as well. If you look at the tortoise, it could live up to 200 years old. And the reason for this is because the tortoise only takes about 5 breaths per minute. And humans might take 15 breaths per minute, and an average lifespan is about 85 if you're lucky.
Breath is the bridge between body and mind. Nothing but awareness in that present moment. Mind can travel so fast. So to bring it back on the present moment. It is the breath that helps. But more importantly, if we can understand the importance of breath, which is not just the oxygen that's going back and forth, it is the life force itself.
Awareness and also the realization that it is the state of my mind which makes me miserable or happy is a first level of realization. Mana eva karanam manushyanam bandha mokshayoho. It is the state of mind that makes one feel bound or free. And holding a single thought, I reduce all other thoughts, so I become mentally calm. When once I purify my system, I become totally creatively intelligent. So that creative intelligence appears when only you become quiet.
So today we went to a very busy bus stop in India. I started out with the senses. So I was sitting in meditation, relaxing my whole body, and just listening to what was going on around me. I just focused on each inhalation, and I held my breath for a little bit, maybe a couple of seconds, and then I exhaled. So I just focused on that. So the peace, the joy, the bliss is within our hearts all of the time. And we have that gift to tap into at any moment. I think people can practice this every day. Be there with your five senses. What are you smelling? What are you hearing? Just be present with your five senses and not think about anything else. Just be there with it, engaging with your whole being of what you're experiencing in this moment.
You know, just maybe take 2 minutes to just feel your inhale and your exhale. Just feel how you inhale and just feel how you exhale, and where are you breathing from? I mean, just a minute is enough to bring your awareness to it, and if you kind of start building it from that minute, you don't really need to go anywhere. It's with us. Sitting in the car, maybe you're in a traffic jam, and say, hey, okay, instead of me getting stressed out about that, just sit there and say, hey, I have my breath with me. Maybe I just bring my awareness to my breath and see how I'm breathing today.
Welcome. This is a guided musical meditation using our voice and our breath. Close your eyes. Follow my voice. Breathe. Breathe in nice and slowly. Take 6 deep breaths when I say breathe. Ready? Breathe. Come back to the breath.
Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde Shandarshita Fatma Sukava Bode Nishaya Se Jangale Kayamane Samsara Hala Hala Mohashantiye.
Human evolution is not about a stage to reach, but it's a moment to moment to moment process. All we need to do is to take care of one single moment at a time. As simple as that, as easy as that, it's a paradox. It's also the most difficult to be taking care of every moment.
Society doesn't really allow you to lead such a spiritual life. I will have to restructure my life in many ways, and that is a challenge. I have to live with the reality of having to make money and having to just be practical about your life. Talking about materialism, we're talking about the ideas of entertainment, the way we treat the relationships, and to really realize what for me yoga is, which is a very practical and personal understanding of the nature of mind and reality and how we are all connected.
Life is about all different emotions. You can program somebody or a robot to be happy all the time. The robot can be happy without any feelings. Then you're only choosing one feeling. But life is not about just playing one string instrument. Life is Philharmonic Orchestra. You take away one set of instruments, can the orchestra be the same? Absolutely not.
There's no end to spiritual progress. There's no end to spiritual life. You go on and unfolding until you become universal. You just lose yourself in the whole universe. Whole consciousness is one. So happiness lies in trying to realize ourselves, not in trying to get attached to somebody else or trying to have more gadgets, more things that are materially available than somebody else. If your conception about yourself changes, your perception about others changes. It's just one existence. No hatred, no enmity, no distinction, all one.
Like this it goes on. The journey continues. It never stops. So you can die, your physical body, but your teachings and whatever the sacrifices you have done, it won't die. Through some other person, your teaching goes on. Like this, the journey continues. It never ends.
No tiger will think that I want to become a better tiger tomorrow. It's bound by its own reflexes, its hunger, pangs of creation. Whereas a man can rise beyond all this. He can defy nature. He can go beyond nature's control. He can become a master of himself. That's the capacity that's there in a human being.
We have the power to create our own destiny. Happiness, peace, love, kindness, all of these, right? All that, whatever we are looking for, is already within us. This capability only humans have. Every moment if we ask this question, do I just want to survive through this challenge in life, or do I want to evolve through this? If we make the path itself as the goal, journey itself as the destination, so if we are enjoying every moment, then life becomes beautiful. And this is what yoga helps us, moment to moment, by focusing on our breath, to be in the present moment, here and now and here, so that we can be evolving every moment of our lives.
We come here to reach a higher consciousness, mixed with sound, rhythm, vibration. Here at the Dub Shack, come vibrate with us. With
Breathe the stimulation in my freak of nature. Healing self-meditation in our creation. The serotonin-headed snakes lies in our roots. Rumble in our bellies waiting to eat the fruit. The breath, our chant, awakens the youth. Vibrating up towards passing each chakra truth. The frequency of home expands the molecules in the brain, while the third eye releases melatonin in blood waves. Breath, root, chi, fire. In creation, each cell glorified. It's the healing of the ages, knowledge of the ancients. This is the sound saving, all in the presence. Ooh, that's heaven. No, we didn't have to travel to outer space. It was in our inner face, in a safe place, locking a hidden treasure, lost from the waves. A simple hum inside the bones of me. It's all I need.